So let's move ahead with question number 23. What are custom fields and content types? Now let's go to our website again, to our SharePoint website, and we have a document here called as Shisha for Beginners. Now this document basically has a lot of properties like type, name, modified, modified by. Now what you want is basically you want that every document should also contain one more property called as department type. So in other words, you would like to know that which department has uploaded this document. So what you can do is that you can add a custom field here. So go to actions, go to settings, go to settings, add a column, and let's give a name called as DEPT, and this is the field which will store departments, right? So this field is a custom field which we are adding, and it will store department names. Now you can also go and define a data type for it. For example, you think that this is a numeric field, you can put a numeric, a currency, a date and time, and etc. But at this moment, we'll just make it a simple text. Now once you create the custom field, this custom field basically gets attached to the document library. So in other words, it gets attached to that list. Now if you say that okay, go and edit properties, you will see one more extra property over there called as DEPT. So I can say okay, this is put by the IT department, IT. So in other words, custom field helps us to take extra information which are needed for a document, and in this way we can streamline our document in a much better manner than in a normal way. Let's start with the second part of the question, content types. Now one of the biggest issue with custom fields is non-standardization. Now let's consider an example, where we have thousands of files which has been uploaded in SharePoint. Now what you want is that you want that user should go and input some kind of short description for every of the file, so that probably you can see that description and then decide that should you view the file or not. So now some of the user can go and create a custom field called as notes. Some user can go and create a custom field called as description. So in other words, everybody will have his own viewpoint, or everybody will try to create his own custom field with his own name. Now this brings in a lot of non-standardization across organization. And suppose that you want to query to all the files and see that you want to query all the files and do some kind of search, or you want to do some kind of sorting, it will not be possible. So what you can do is that you can create content types. Now content types helps you to define standardized custom fields. For example, you can define a content type called as project. Now if anybody wants to create a project document, what he can do is that he can use this content type, and by default he will get all of these custom fields. In the same way, you can create a content type for accounts documents. In the same way, you can create a content type for a employee details. You can create a content type probably for attendance details. So in other words, you create a content type, and then anybody can use that content type rather than defining his own custom fields, and they get all the necessary fields which are defined in the content type. So let's move ahead, and what we'll do is that we will create a content type practically in SharePoint portal. Now what we'll do is that we'll create a simple content type with a notes custom field, and this content type we will later apply to a document. So click on site actions, click on site settings, and you can see that there is a whole list of options which you get. In the galleries, you will see something called as site content types. So click on site content types. You will be displayed with all the default content type which are available in SharePoint. Now because we want to create a custom one, click on create, and let's give a nice name to this content type called as simple notes content type. This content type has a notes property. Okay, and because this is for documents, so select documents and click OK. Now what we'll also do is that we'll add a simple column in this content type called as short notes, wherein a user can put in a short note about this document, and we click OK. So we have created a content type, and you can see the content type has three properties: name, title, which are the default one, and a short note. Now let's go and attach this content type with our document or with our list. So let's go to the programming folder. Let's go to the courses programming folder. Let's go to .NET. Now in this list, what we want is any document which is uploaded should have that small notes property filled in up. Okay. So click on site settings, click on document library settings. In advanced setting, first ensure that the allow management of content types is clicked as yes. If it is clicked as no, just ensure that it is a yes. Now add from existing content type. Now what we need to do is that we need to attach this content type with that list. So we had added this simple notes content type in custom content types. Attach it with the list. Now what you can see is that this list, courses list, is now attached with a simple notes content type. Now let's go to the programming folder, to the .NET folder, and you will see that when you click on new, you will see that you can now create documents using this content type. So let's create a simple document, simple Word document. Now you will find that that content type or the is list that content type is now been integrated with the document itself. So for example, here you can say, okay, this is my document. This document talks about myself. Okay, my name is Shiv Prasad Koirala and I stay in India. Right, and save it. Once you save it, you can see that your content types are also saved with the document itself. So in this way, you have developed a content type, you have created a content type, and then you have attached the content type with the document. So now with this, what happens is, basically when we talked about custom fields, everybody would have its own naming convention, but because we have defined a content type, the naming conventions are now standardized. So for example, the notes will only be notes across organizations. It's not that some user can create using description, somebody can create using simple notes, somebody can create using probably text, etc. So the notes are now notes, and now what you can do is that as administrator, you can query on the notes field across documents. So in other words, content type brings in standardization across organization, or we can say that content type basically brings in standardization of custom fields.